Okay, anyway, getting back here. The curse. Man, this is some terrible stuff, right? So now let's turn. Oh man, I lost the page. We were in the book of 2 Samuel. This is going to be interesting. I had it marked here. I had 2 Samuel. Oh no, 1 Kings 12, the first verse. Now what I want you to see in here now, understand the curse, okay? The curse is when these guys jack up. Now, mess up, disobey God, don't do what they're supposed to do. Now we understand as human beings, all through the lives of everybody in this Bible, everybody messed up. Not everybody. Jesus didn't mess up. Maybe Enoch didn't mess up because he got to walk right up into heaven wrong. But we see most of the folks, most of the characters in this Bible messed up, okay? So it really isn't about that. It's about just blatant disobedience and rejection to the desires and the wishes of God in the lives of these children of Israel. I mean, we understand, even according to Scripture and our belief, that they were chosen. The chosen people, the chosen children of Israel. The question is, why were they chosen? What were they chosen for? As we look at John 3:16, see, we have the advantage of being able to look at these writings after the fact. These folks here were living it. It's awful hard. You know, when they begin to take notes, if there's a book written later on in the future about our lives, we're going to recognize just how lost and confused we were in this life when all along there was a plan of God in the mix going on. That's why we're told that we shouldn't be frustrated and we shouldn't be worrying and shouldn't be so forlorn and dejected, but we need to recognize and have a confidence of faith in God that God knows what He's doing. And sometimes we do have to suffer. Sometimes we do have to go through the fire. Sometimes we do have to make mistakes and come out on the other end. But the reality is that there is a purpose, there is a reason, and the comfort is recognizing that God is in control, okay? I know we're going all over the place, but you really need to get this. Look at the life of Peter, how he messed up. I don't know him. And Jesus, he denied that he even knew him. Jesus had predicted it. It was necessary for the process of the life of Peter to become what God had intended to be what God had called him to be, to do the things that God had called him to do. He needed to go through this process. He needed to go through the fire. You're in a process right now, possibly. You may be in the middle of a fire. You probably need to be there. The comfort is, and the peace is, knowing that you will come out on the other side. And if you stand your ground, and if you aren't swayed as far as your commitment to the Father, you will be new and improved when you come out on the other side, okay? So anyway, let's go here. So we got this curse that's going to happen to anybody that disobeys these statutes of God, right? And so we go on now. Life of the children of Israel, they're doing good, they're doing bad. They got David, he's leading them, he's doing bad, he's doing good, all this stuff. And then David dies. And David's son Solomon takes over. That's very interesting. Solomon does his thing, man. The wisest man that Israel ever knew. Riches and everything, right? We know about Solomon. Kept the tribes together. They were kind of corrupt, but still chosen of God, well with God. Solomon dies. His son, Rehoboam, takes over. 1 Kings, 12th chapter, starting in the first verse, Rehoboam. It says, and Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt, okay, that they sent and called Jeroboam. Anyway, let me just break to the point, man. Let's get here, because we're running out of time. Rehoboam called all the people together. He's taken over as king from his dad Solomon. And he wants to try to understand or try to figure out the best way to rule the people. So he does something very wise. He gathers all the elders, all the old men that served with his dad, and asks counsel of them. How should I rule? How should I rule the people? And his dad's peers said it to him. He said, these old guys, they said, well, rule them kind of easy. I mean, these are loyal folks. They loved your dad. And they will serve you, but don't be heavy-handed with them. Okay. So then Rehoboam calls his peers. He calls the young men, his age, ready and motivated. Glad that they were right there, the lieutenants, And he asked counsel of them. And he said, rule them hard. They thought your daddy ruled them hard, you rule them harder than your daddy. This is where Rehoboam's mistake. He embraced the counsel of the young men instead of the counsel of the old men. And that right there is a teaching in and of itself. The people revolted. The people rebelled. It said here, but he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they had given him. This is chapter 12, verse 8. And counseled with the young men, that they were grown up with him, and which stood before him. And he said unto them, the young men, what counsel give you, that we may answer these people who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father did put on us lighter? And the young men that were grown up with him, and spake unto him, saying, thus shalt thou speak unto this people, and speak unto these, saying, thy father made our yoke heavy, but will you make it lighter on us? You say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. And now whereas my father laid you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. The people split. And that was it. And so what I'm sharing with you today, it said, verse 16, so when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we with David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse to your tents, O Israel. Now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed to their tents. Now this is the beginning of the difference between Israel and Judah. Rehoboam, a descendant of Solomon, descendant of David. They were from the house of Judah, the ruling tribe. They were going to rule all of Israel with an iron hand, an iron fist. The rest of the tribe split. They said, well, we don't have any portion here. There's no reason for us to stay. And Israel split. There was a northern kingdom called Israel and the southern kingdom called Judah. Hence the Jews. Israel split. And it was because of Judah. The Jews. So when we talk about Israel in Scripture from this point on, we're not talking about the Jews who hail from Judah. We're talking about Israel, the tribes that revolted and rebelled against Judah. Okay, now Benjamin, I believe the tribe of Benjamin, which the Apostle Paul hailed from, they stuck with Judah as well. So the rest of the tribes split. Understand that. So even as we begin reading Scripture, now begin reading Isaiah, now begin reading Jeremiah, and recognize that there is a difference between Israel, who's also called Ephraim and Israel, versus Judah, hence the Jews. So now understand, at least let your thoughts be pricked, that even today when we're talking about Israel and the chosen of God and all how we have to support Israel, who are we talking about? The Israel of the Bible are not the Jews who hail from Judah. Understand that. They're the chosen. What do you think they were chosen for? That's what we're going to talk about today. Why were they chosen? Now if we turn to the book of Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter, starting in the 8th verse, we're going to talk about Israel and Judah. Jeremiah 3:8. This is Jeremiah. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. This is the prophet Jeremiah talking about Israel when they split from Judah. And I saw, when all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. So this is the chosen of God, Israel. Judah, the ruling party, the ruling tribe, was treacherous and caused Israel to revolt. Yet still, when Israel revolted, when the other tribes revolted away from Judah, they were still held accountable by God. And this is what I want to share with you. As you are persecuted in this life, believers, as people do you wrong, that's not an okay to go ahead and respond in kind. You're still committed to God.